Hello, in this video I'm going to talk about my book haul in South London for the first 3 weeks of May. On Sunday I will be going to the Pulp and Paperback Fair. Whether I will get anything there I don't know, but this is the books I've found up to the day before. To give you some idea of my level of searching, over that 3 weeks in South London, I've probably visited a total of about 40 to 50 charity shops. Some of them twice or even possibly 3 times. I have some regular shops that I check every week and some every 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 weeks. That total includes 5 charity bookshops, but for one shop, it would have been a relatively lean period. So I'm going to start off with the ones from the other shops. And the first book I'm going to show you is this one. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, illustrated by Jim Kay. This is a first printing. I know there were at least 2, possibly 3 printings of this. And the reason I was on the lookout for this is that last year, probably about this time last year, I picked up editions of the next 2 books in the series, which were Chamber of Secrets oh, sorry, that's The Prisoner of Azkaban. And Chamber of Secrets. These were quite reasonably cheap purchases, perhaps £3, £4, I don't remember now, but I didn't pay a lot. And they're extensively illustrated by Jim Kay. Not every page, but a lot of illustrations. So I wanted to collect book 1, and over the last year I've seen about 2 copies that were reprints. So when I saw this, although it was somewhat dearer, at £10, I thought I would get it. So now I have the first 3. I have seen book 4 in the shops, but I haven't bought new. They're not that cheap new. I mean, The Philosopher's Stone was £30 when it was published. So that is the first book that I'm going to show you. Next, I'm going to show you 2 books I bought from one charity shop. Now, most charity shops have become very expensive, but one that I go to is still very reasonable. It does hardbacks 2 for £1, paperbacks 3 for £1. And normally, because they're so cheap, there's nothing ever worth buying. But this time I got this. Keanu Reeves and China Miéville, The Book of Elsewhere. It's not a book I've read, not a book I know much about, but I do like China Miéville as a writer. And I thought, even if I have to pay £1 and that's all I get, it will still be well worth it. But I did search and I found one other book, which I showed you in my previous book haul video, which was this, The Returned, which was signed by and dated by Jason Mott. I'm not going to say any more about this because I don't know much about The Returned. But 2 hardbacks, 1 signed for £1 seemed a really good buy. The only other 2 books that I've bought, apart from at this one shop, which I will show you in a minute, the other 2 are this. This is one, Cressida Cowell. Now, I don't normally buy that. She's a kid's author, but it was signed. Love, Cressida Cowell. It's a first printing in quite nice condition. A little bit dear. I did and ah whether to get it, but at £3.50 for a signed hardback did not seem unreasonable. And the other book that I got is one I already have, but I haven't got round to comparing this copy with the one I've already got. But I got it because someone told me this is the hardest one of the set to find, and that is Dust by Hugh Howey. I have seen the Silo series and I thought it was very good. And I thought for £1 it was worth picking this up. As I say, it may be better than my copy, it might not. But I haven't got round to digging out my copy to compare. So I thought that was a very good buy. And finally, the one charity shop that came up trumps in this period sells paperbacks at £2 each. And I was quite pleased. They'd had a donation, not a big one, perhaps 30 books that were old A format paperbacks. And I couldn't resist. There were some I hadn't got, some I bought as potential upgrades. Again, I haven't done the checking. But I'm going to start off with this. One of the so-called pan lozenges. It's slightly faded. And it's the only one so far that I've actually got around to comparing. So I knew I had one about the same condition, but at £2 I thought I would get it. And basically my original copy was even more faded. So only a minor improvement, but generally I think the one I got is slightly better. It has a slight crease, but it's not that obvious. So for £2 I thought that was reasonable. And I shall now go through the other books that I bought from that shop. I think this was from a different donation. It's a Sean and Maguire book in the Encrypted series. This is one I didn't have. It's a series where I've got some, but not anywhere near the full series. So I was pleased to pick this up. It's in virtually new condition, and I thought that was worthwhile. And I shall carry on. Again, another one where I have the book, but I thought this might be better than my copy. Camp Concentration by Thomas M. Dish. It's got a very slight crease down in the bottom corner, but even so, there's a reasonable chance it's better than my copy, and at £2 I thought that was a reasonable buy and quite an interesting cover. Carrying on, next one I'm going to show you is this, Back to the Future. So this is presumably, yes, tied into the film. It's not one I had. It's in lovely condition, or it is now that I've sort of cleaned it up a little bit. And not that common as far as I can tell, so I was pleased to get that. Another one I'm going to show you, another pan lozenge. This was a book I didn't have, 10,000 Light Years from Home. So I was quite pleased to get that, a nice spine. Unfortunately, there is a crease in the top corner. I'm not certain whether you can see that, probably not. Maybe you can see if I try and use the light to reflect. You can see there's a crease there. But as I didn't have it for £2, I thought, again, very reasonable. Next, 4 books from a series I've never collected. When I check my list, as far as I can tell, I've only got one other. And it's the New English Library SF Master series. And these were all in lovely condition. So I thought I would get them, and I think I have Bring the Jubilee in another edition. I definitely have Mission of Gravity in another condition. I didn't have Borderline by Vercors. And I must admit, I haven't checked yet because I haven't updated my list whether I've got the Caltraps of Time. So I thought I'd show you those. I'll show you the covers one by one. It does leave me with the issue, do I try and collect this series now? And as far as I can tell, looking at the ISFDB, there look to be 15 in this series. So those 4 plus the one I've got means I've got 5. So still not a substantial proportion of the series, so I'm thinking about whether to collect them. Carrying on. Another Pan lozenge. I have the title. I don't have it in this edition as far as I know. As I say, I haven't updated my list yet and haven't checked, so, or not checked all of them, but that was a nice buy and that's in really nice condition. The next one, The Sound of His Horn by Sarban. Quite a difficult book to find. I mean, I checked my list when I saw it in the shop. I have a second printing. This is a third printing. And as far as I know, I've never ever seen a first printing, or certainly not in nice condition. This is quite nice condition. So I was very pleased to get that. Finally, the last one I bought was this one. Robert Stallman, Captive. Now, they had the whole trilogy, and I had the whole trilogy, and my copy of this, from my list, I knew was in, at best, good condition. This is a first printing, as mine was, but in lovely condition. So I bought that for £2. So they also had books 1 and 3, which I have. Both of those in the shop were second printings, as are mine. So I couldn't upgrade those. And I still have a mixed sense in the sense that the set is both first and second printings. So I was pleased to get that. And that completes the haul from that shop. And it's probably the first time for a year I've got more than 3 or 4 what I would call vintage paperbacks from any shop. They're not that old, but they are nice copies from the last century. So I was very pleased. When I started collecting, I collected A format paperbacks, and somewhat reluctantly over recent years I've tried to find more, but because they're not around, I tend to buy B format paperbacks, and you have to if you want to read some of the newer fiction. But it makes a real change. It gives real satisfaction that I found some slightly older paperbacks this month. If I find anything at the Pulp and Paperback Fair, they will be in my next book haul video. So that's it. Thank you.